Oh hey there, seekers of paranormal danger. Buckle up for a journey into some of the most haunted places on Earth. From creepy hotels and spooky woodlands to old medieval castles and deserted ships. It's time to dim those lights and grab a cozy blankie as we dive into the scary and unknown. First up, the St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans. Built in 1789, the cemetery is proof that just because it's in the past, it doesn't mean it's dead. Often touted as one of the most haunted places in America, this burial ground is an active grave site with over 700 tombs and 100,000 dead people crammed in the space of one block, with many reporting ghostly encounters at the cemetery for more than 200 years. In an attempt to communicate with dead spirits that linger around here after dark, many have tried to gain access to this haunted cemetery at night, but we really don't recommend you do the same. Hearing the name Winchester might ring a bell. Yes, our favorite and classic mystery show, The Supernatural. But don't be confused, it's just a coincidence. The real Winchester Mystery House is located in San Jose, California, and was built by a woman named Sarah Winchester, widow of the guy who invented the rifle. This sprawling mansion is known for its bizarre architecture and legends surrounding its construction. After the death of her husband, Sarah Winchester inherited a vast fortune. Legend has it that someone told her to build a home to appease the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles.
A construction crews working round the clock, 365 days a year, because a psychic told her that she had to keep building in order to confuse all of the angry spirits that were killed by the Winchester rifle.
The result? A maze of a mansion with staircases leading nowhere and doors opening into walls. This famous mystery house has long been associated with the paranormal. Visitors and staff have heard footsteps, whispers, and strange noises throughout the mansion. Some claim to have even seen the ghost of a woman believed to be Sarah Winchester herself wandering through the halls. Today, the Winchester House stands as a historical landmark and tourist attraction. But the question remains, is it truly haunted? Or simply a testament to one woman's unique architectural vision?
Sarah Winchester used this house as her creative outlet. It was like a massive thing that she could constantly change or reconfigure, add on to, or take something away.
Our next horror stop is on the infamous Goatman's Bridge, also known as Old Alton Bridge in Denton, Texas. According to local lore, a black goat farmer named Oscar Washburn lived near the bridge back in the 1930s. When the clan found out that he was doing business with white clients, they sought revenge. The clan hung Washburn from the bridge, only to find the noose empty when they looked over the edge. Legend has it that the vengeful spirit of the Goatman still haunts the area, making this place a hotspot for seekers of the paranormal. Visitors claim to hear strange footsteps and the unnerving sounds of goat hooves echoing in the dark. Some have reported seeing a full-fledged ghost, a shadowy figure resembling a goat-human hybrid lurking around the bridge. Other reports mention electronic malfunctions, such as cameras and flashlights failing to work. These occurrences only add to the strange atmosphere surrounding this disturbing bridge in Texas. Now, where to next? How about Corvin Castle, one of the biggest castles in Europe? Perched up on the border of Hungary and Romania, even though it looks straight out of a fairy tale, the real history of this place is pretty darn dark. John Hunyadi, the ruler of Transylvania, built this castle in 1441, right on top of the ruins of a fortress built by King Charles I of Hungary. It's claimed that Vlad the Impaler, popularly known as the real-life inspiration for Dracula, was held prisoner right here.
He was nicknamed Dracula, which means the son of the devil.
Confined for 7 years in a dungeon below the Hall of Knights. Legend has it that Vlad slowly turned mad within the depths of his small, dark, and dingy cell. Traumatized by the sounds of other prisoners being tortured, executed, and thrown into the bear pit as he eagerly awaited his own fate. Some even claim he ate and drank the blood of filthy rats in order to survive.
He used to capture rats and birds, take the skin off, and then impale them in a small wooden stick.
Though these claims may be a little exaggerated, many believe that this castle is the exact place where Vlad the Impaler went mad and developed his lust for death, blood, and gore, with some going as far as to claim that his dead ghost still lurks around the castle at night. We now drop by the iconic Amityville house. This seemingly ordinary house in New York has become the center of a terrifying tale that has captivated the world for decades. In 1974, the DeFeo family met a tragic end in the house when Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered 6 members of his own family. He later claimed that there were voices in his head urging him to kill, and some believe that he heard the voices of evil spirits that lived within the so-called horror house.
And so
We
forth.
have no suspect at this time. We have no indication of the motive at this time.
What about Ronald DeFeo, the son, the surviving son?
Ronald is being safeguarded by the Suffolk County Police at this time.
Why safeguarded?
Why? Because the 6 members of the family dead.
13 months later, the Lutz family bought the home at a drastically reduced price of $80,000 due to the murders, but only lasted 28 days before leaving it after a series of some paranormal activities.
My name is Patty Camarado. I was friends with Allison DeFeo, girl who was murdered with the rest of her family here in 1974. This I'm going to show you is the mysterious red room that's so noted for in the book. This door, which they say was never here, was here, is here, always will be here, I suppose. This is the red room.
From strange odors and cold spots to green slime oozing out of the walls and keyholes, when a priest came to bless the house, he allegedly heard a voice scream, "Get out!" He warned the family to never sleep in that particular room in the house. Unfortunately for some of you interested in buying the house, in 2017, the Amityville house was officially sold to an undisclosed owner for $605,000. That's $200,000 less than the original asking price. Better luck next time. Next up, we have the Oriental Theater in Chicago. This historic venue pulled in crowds since 1908, but according to some, something strange lurks around the backstage areas, including mysterious sounds, unexplained shadows, and cold spots, all of which have been reported. Wondering why? That same year, nearly 600 people died when a fire broke out during a performance of Mr. Bluebeard, a comedy musical.
A fire broke out in what was then the brand new Iroquois Theater. It had only been open for 6 weeks.
Around 3:15 in the afternoon, right at the start of the second act, a spark from a stage lit up the curtains, setting the whole backdrop on fire. The crowd waited as stagehands tried to put it out, and the orchestra even kept playing. This unfortunate event is referred to as the Great Chicago Fire Disaster. Hundreds of bodies piled up inside the theater, with space next door turning into a morgue and hospital. In 1926, the theater was renamed and entirely rebuilt. Even today, many believe this place to be haunted by the spirits of all those who died in the deadly fire. Now making our way to just a little south of Mexico City, right amid the canals of Xochimilco, where you can find a small island full of dolls, or the Isla de las Munecas, dedicated to the lost soul of a young girl who was found drowned in the canal under strange circumstances. According to locals, all the hanging dolls are possessed by her spirit. Dolls on the island are scary enough even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark, they're just hella disturbing. Legend has it that the dolls move their heads and arms and even open their eyes. Some witnesses claim that they heard the dolls whispering to each other, while others who were passing the island on a boat say that the dolls tried to lure them into coming onto the island. We dare you to hop on a plane to visit this island and see Chucky from Child's Play come to life.
A good guy.
Who the are you?
And now, the Hotel Cecil. Hidden within the busy streets of downtown LA lies one of the most infamous buildings on the East Coast. Ever since it was built in 1924, this hotel has been plagued by mystery. At least 16 different murders and suicides have taken place at this hotel, once home to some of the most notorious serial killers in the country. In the 1930s alone, the hotel reported at least 6 suicides. A few guests ingested poison, while others shot themselves, slit their own throats, or jumped out the window. Tragic calamities and suicides have contributed heavily to the hotel's death count. In fact, did you know in the mid-1980s, Richard Ramirez, who murdered 13 people, better known as the Night Stalker, lived right here in a room on the top floor during most of his horrific killing spree. So the next time you're visiting LA, maybe don't book a room in this hotel. Now onto the ancient land of India. Located at the border of the famous Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, the Bhangarh Fort is a 17th century fort, famous all over India for being the most haunted place in the country. And guess what? Even the Archaeological Survey of India has forbidden locals and tourists from entering the fort at night.
माधो सिंह यहाँ पे राजा था और रानी यहाँ की रत्नावती थी।
Legend has it that a magician fell in love with a princess from the fort and used a love potion to win her over. When the princess dodged his moves by flinging the potion onto a boulder, which rolled down toward the magician, physically crushing him. Before drawing his final breath, he cursed the fort. Chatting to folks in nearby villages will get you a bunch of even more strange local legends to think about. Next up, we have the beautiful Edinburgh Castle that has seen many battles throughout its long history, and maybe even ghosts. Now, if that excites you, check this out. In 1650, guards noticed a mysterious little boy circling around the castle's courtyard while playing a drum. Upon a closer look, they realized something was very wrong. He had no head. Too scared to approach, they let him play into the night. By morning, he was gone. Not long after, the castle was captured by Oliver Cromwell. The headless drummer boy is seen as an omen of bad luck. In fact, sometimes in the middle of the night, castle staff can still hear his distant tap. Spooky, right? Okay, so what do we have next? Once a premium ocean liner, the Queen Mary ship sailed across the North Atlantic Ocean during the mid-1900s. It is a famous tourist attraction, not just because of its grand faring history, but also because of the supernatural guests believed to live aboard. Reports of over 150 ghosts sighted in the ship sure makes it look like there is some truth in it. People seem to have experienced drastic temperature changes when entering certain parts of the ship, such as the haunted stateroom, the shaft alley, and the bathroom. Now that must have literally sent chills down your spine. Our last stop takes us right into the heart of Japan's famous Aokigahara Forest, popularly known as the Suicide Forest. Nestled at the base of the iconic Mount Fuji, this dense woodland is known for its high number of suicides. It has a rather morbid nickname due to the alarming number of people who have taken their own lives in its wooded confines. Authorities have taken measures to address this issue, including the placement of signs urging visitors to rethink their decision to end their own life. In Japanese mythology, Aokigahara is said to be a place where yurei, or ghosts, linger. Some believe that the trees themselves are infused with spirits, adding a layer of entish mystery to the forest. And there you have it, folks, some of the spookiest, spine-chilling, hair-raising, and downright petrifying places in the world. Which of these haunted places has fascinated you the most? Share your thoughts in a comment below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more exciting adventures. Till then, happy and hopefully ghost-free traveling.